I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Delta. Today on the show, I am joined by fashion wellness queen and my friend Detox. But first, do you want to see me go off? Because I think you want to see me go off.
Go off, Delta!
M.
Oh.
M.
Mom!
Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta. I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Delta, a luxury public access podcast and YouTube talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very Delta. Very Delta is for the woman who's curious. If olives make a cocktail dirty, what makes it filthy? But first, let's get into some things that are very Delta.
Go off, Delta!
What do you think of this? How old do you think that is? How much do you think it costs? Do you think it's valuable? Would you find it on Antiques Roadshow? Would you find it at Savers thrift store? Because that's where I found it. I am not the biggest thrift store shopper, but I love the idea. When I was a kid, we lived at the thrift store, and I feel like there's been sort of a cultural shift where the thrift store or the five and dime or the secondhand store have all become sort of a vintage store, right? Like people go there because they're looking for vintage finds or to resell items. And I totally get it. Everyone needs a side hustle or even a main hustle at this point. So people are going shopping for stuff to resell them because they're trying to fucking eat. They're trying to survive. They're trying to pay rent. But I remember a time when you would go and you would just find really cool things that maybe you always wanted and they were gently used and now you could afford them. You could find Halloween costumes, all that stuff. So a new store opened not far from my house. And it's not new to the world, but it's a new location and it's called Savers. And I've been to many Savers locations before, usually around Halloween, find really cool stuff, love it. But now that I have been spending more time sort of decorating the desk and I really enjoy finding like vases and trinkets and flowers and creating all of these arrangements. So I like going to the thrift store and I saw this vase at Savers and right next to it was a smaller version, a little round one. And I was like, oh my God. Immediately they looked like vintage items. I was like, I better grab these right now. I don't even know the price, but I can tell that these are vintage items that somebody else who knows better than I do, like the names of the creators and the designers and the artisans, they're going to spot those. And if they do, they're going to snatch them up. So I better grab them first because I know they're going to coordinate with the set. They're not going to stand out in a weird way. Although sometimes I like things to stand out a little bit. But I knew when I saw them, I had to have them. And I wanted both of them. So immediately I was like, these are gorgeous. They've got to be from the 40s. Like I know what I'm talking about. But in my mind, I knew the storyline was, this was from the 40s. This belonged to, I don't know, Ava Gardner, or it belonged to some amazing Hollywood actor or actress. Maybe like I shook it. You can't hear it now, but I shook it earlier when I bought it and I could hear something rattling around and I thought, is that like, I don't know, a leftover condom wrapper from a Hollywood star who had a tryst with an actress at a hotel just off of Olive. And it was amazing. And they left their condom in there. And these have just been sitting in a closet forever. And somebody was like, get rid of those old vases. We don't want those around here anymore. Those are great grandma's vases. And they ended up at Savers. And I was like, I have to have it. I have to have them both. They are so stunning. Who could they belong to? And then I thought, maybe I'm not so lucky. Maybe they're not really from the 40s, right? Maybe they are like a movement from the 80s where it was like a vintage throwback. And I thought, that's sickening though, because in my mind, I don't know, Maybe Julia Sugarbaker, if there was a real Julia Sugarbaker, could have had that on her desk, right? A design firm, somebody sickening. Maybe this belonged to Gregory Peck, honey. I knew it when I looked at it. I was like, oh, bitch. This probably was inside some apartment that belonged to Elizabeth Taylor, and I'm going to have it on my desk. I thought, it's got the lines. And I don't know what the lines are, but I know it's got lines, right? It's got sort of a Coke bottle shape and it's just as sweet. And I thought, wow, I've got to have the other one too, because what if I wanted to put this one on a little bit of a lift and put one down here? And what kind of flowers would I put in it? Maybe I wanted something with an Asian feel to it, right? And then something down here just a little bit smaller. Maybe I wanted to have stems of just feathers. Not real feathers, like fake feathers, the kind that come at like the Moscatels or Michaels or something where it's not real, but it kind of looks real, right? Because I'm not going to I have had real flowers. I do have sometimes real flowers here. But not a lot because, I want them to last. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, babe, you're not going to get me this time because I'm going to take this on Antiques Roadshow, like full on. I thought I've got these two pieces and my mind was going because I thought, what if there's a third piece? What if this actually had a weird lid that went on it? What if I don't even know who could have made this? And I was feeling it and I was like, well, what's the material? Like, is this ceramic? Is it made of mud? Is it it's not plastic? Is it just glass painted? I don't know what all the mediums are. I don't know what all the movements are because I'm not really an art collector. But when I saw this piece and that other one, I just knew. And I decided I'm going to put it in the cart. So I put this one sort of on the top, right in that basket where you would put like your baby or your purse or whatever, whichever one's more important to you. And then in the bottom of the cart, I put the other one sort of pushed in the corner because when you're pushing your cart and shit rattles around, I didn't want it to break, but I did want people to see what I had in my cart because usually I'll just find some random stuff. And I wanted people to see this. I wanted people to know, like, this one's a collector and this one has a collectible. So people were looking and they were like, and I kind of wanted to. Sometimes I'll sort of walk over here and look at something while my cart's right here. I had my cart right with me because I was like, they're not taking this. So I get up to the register. And by the way, Savers, the one I went to, all self-checkout. I'm fine with a self-checkout, but I feel like if something doesn't have a price on it or whatever, it's going to be weird. So in that moment, I feel like if there's no one in line, then I want a cashier. But if there's a ton of people in line, maybe I want a self-checkout. I don't know. That's up in the air and it's still debatable. But I get up and I go to scan my item. Now you see how beautiful this is, right? I want you to see the price tag on it. This says housewares, vases and planters, floral and baskets, $5.49 for this. $5.49. $5.49. The other one, which was about here or so, with a full round mouth on it, would have sat here, also $5.49. I was like, damn, that's the deal. I was so excited about it. So I scanned my items and I set them over to the side. And the last time I was there, they had a little drawer with tissue paper, so you were able to wrap your thing. They didn't have that this time. In fact, they didn't even have bags. Well, they did have bags, but they were like brown bagging your lunch. So my items wouldn't fit in there. And honestly, I was just going to go to the car. So I didn't really need bags. And they did have some for sale, like the reusables, but I only like reusable bags that are cute. I don't like reusable bags that are ugly. And I love to buy reusable bags. Get your reusable bags at Ross and get them at Burlington. But I scanned my items and then I thought, all right, cool. Let me set those here to the side. And as I set this one down, I thought, wow, let me look at how beautiful my vase is. And I turned it upside down. My $5.49 find that once belonged to Ava Gardner or Gregory Peck or some legendary actor who had this in their home, next to their desk, on their desk. Somebody that used it for flowers, somebody that handed it down from generation to generation, and then it just collected dust in a house that ended up being sold. It was sent off to the secondhand. And then I look at the bottom and it came from Ross for $9.99. My piece, my collectible piece that stood the test of time that I just happened to find. I was going to take it on Antiques Roadshow. I paid $5.49 for it, and it was retailing, and it had to have been not long ago because there's nothing wrong with the price tag at Ross for $9.99. $9.99. $9.99. Savers thrift store. Fucking $9.99. You could have fooled the shit out of me. The movie in my mind that this told, babe, I was ready. I thought, ooh, bitch. When the guests show up here, they're going to be like, wow. Oh my God, girl, you're really doing good for yourself. You're not even playing, girl. You said, fuck this. I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to use my voice to buy myself collectible items. Bitch, I could have gone to Ross and found this for $10. No, don't get me wrong. What is that? $4.50 off? $3.50 off? That's a good deal, you know? But that's not that great of a deal. That should have been at the thrift store for 75 cents, and you know it. If it was that price. I mean, I don't know. Is Savers, maybe Savers is like a charity thrift store? I never even looked into it. If that's the case, I kind of get it. I mean, a little bit. A charity thrift store is a little bit different than somebody that's just making money. I don't know that they're a charity thrift store. And I honestly think, like, come on, peel the Ross price tag off. You know, I'm actually going to leave it on there because I want to tell this story. You know what? This is actually going to end up being worth a lot of money when my grandchildren are given this because it's going to have that price tag. I'm going to leave that price tag on there just because that's a hill I'm going to die on. I want everyone to fucking know how Savers Thrift Store played in my fucking face. Do you want to see me take a break? Because I think you want to see me take a break. Today's guest feels good, she feels right, and she's ready to go all night. It's my friend and yours, fashion wellness queen Detox.
Not the fashion wellness.
Isn't that you?
It's my new brand, actually. We're doing, fitness fashion, it's all encompassing. There's supplements built into the fashion leggings that we're doing now. It's going to be great.
Kind of like when people used to have like the copper infused bracelets.
Oh, what about when they drank the colloidal silver?
Right.
We all saw Mother God.
Right.
We are Mother God.
Right. Lasers and lotions were popular.
And lotions
for a long
were
time.
very popular.
Ray Latre,
I'm going to fucking kill you.
There's just so many ways to wellness.
There's so many ways of wellness.
There are.
Throw the baby down the well.
Fleuressence After Party, a line of dietary supplements to help body, mind, give you the power to embrace your own momentum and encourages others to do the same.
Yeah, sure. That's great.
Tell
Did you
me.
write that yourself?
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I mean,
like, we should hire you to do all my PR. That'd be
I don't.
amazing.
I don't.
You
produce the
don't
show.
feature that.
I
no.
don't produce the show. I just star in it.
See.
No, but for real, Fluorescence. People love it. I mean, it really is a thing.
I love it. It's something that I need. You know, it's something like during the pandemic when my sister and I started getting really on this whole, like, you know, we had nothing to do. So we just drank a lot of wine and we would take gummies and supplements and all kinds of different herbs and teas and remedies, and because we were fucking bored. Mm-hmm. And then my sister was like, you know what, you're an alcoholic mess. Why don't we lean into that and create a product that will help people, you know, recover for the next day and wake up feeling brunch ready. And it works, and it's really amazing. We did a lot of market research. We had a lot of nights where we just sat around and drank wine and got crazy and partied in the house, and then tried all of our different blends and concoctions. And I think it's great. If you guys haven't tried it, try it. Fluorescencesupplements.com.
Can you take too much of it?
No,
which
is great because you're supposed to. Here's the thing: one dose is for every like 4 to 5 drinks, and a lot of us drink a lot more than that. So you basically plan your dosage off of how many cocktails you have for the evening. And then you just wake up feeling great. It helps metabolize all the alcohol in your system. It helps repair liver damage as well, which is really wild. It's filled with milk thistle and all kinds of really amazing things.
Does it change the color of your urine?
It does. It does make it makes your pee fluorescence, which is great for me because it's on brand, isn't it?
Yeah. Would there be a way to like almost infuse some sort of aurora borealis so that when you pee the next morning, there's like an AB cast on your urine?
Like an AB cloudiness to your urine. Yeah,
right.
That would be amazing. But I think that would also probably lead to urinary tract infections.
Well, that's fine.
But that's fine because we'll have a supplement for that too by the end of the year. Don't worry.
We've had worse infections.
We've had worse infections in our urethras, haven't we?
It's not that deep. It's not.
There's been some other kind of cloudiness coming out of our. Anyways. Lasers and lotions. Am I right?
Lasers and lotions.
You know.
You know. So you were here before, but we did not talk too much when you were here about home ownership.
I know.
You are like you have been doing renovations. Your sister lives very nearby. So what is that like? Because you have a huge home.
I have a home that's way too large for one person to be living in, but I also have a lot of shit. So it's great to
Right.
have like space to have my things. And the renovation process has been a nightmare. Every time I do one project or get ready for another project, something else happens. You know, that's the problem of buying an older home and also not knowing what you're doing and also having, you know, not the best contractors around.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you find a good contractor who can do your shit, or else I'll have to sue you too. But so right now, that my next big project is the kitchen, which I'm so excited about.
You're alone in the home,
hmm
and
Besides the ghosts.
besides the ghost, which
Mhm.
we'll get to, and there are construction men coming around.
You just was hoping I was sucking dick.
Yeah, I wanted to know what kind of peignoir, what kind of negligee you're wearing when you're running
Oh my God,
around.
something similar to this. This is very much my like Leave It to Beaver. Like I look like a docile housewife.
Show 'em my beaver.
I'll show you my beaver.
Right. There's no smoking in here. Is there not? Wait, there's no smoking in here.
Oh, let me hit it. I need it. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm just gonna keep this next to me. There's no smoking on Very Delta.
Whatsoever. Do you see the essence of the fleur?
That's Fleuressence vapes. No, I'm kidding.
You could do that, couldn't you?
I know.
Do you want me to hold that for you? Oh, you want to do too.
No, I'll do it right there.
You
I'll
want
put
to do
that
it right there? Okay, you can have that.
I want to go off too.
I want to get off too.
I want to get off too. Clear that. Let me clear my frame.
Well, that's a free filter,
Okay,
which was
thank
good
you.
for
I
me
needed
because
that.
it came
I
right
needed
this
that.
way. Are you on the Nextdoor app?
What the fuck is that?
That is where homeowners can have an app where they can talk about everything that's going on in the neighborhood. They can post like, I saw a coyote, or
I'm sure that I am on that app, but I don't think that I'm not physically
Not
on that app. But
personally.
I'm sure that I am on it.
Right.
Because I think I'm like the only queer person in the neighborhood. And, you know, I live right across the street from my sister. So constantly they're seeing me run back and forth with fur coats and
Right.
in half drag and running around half naked. And then we have parties
In
at
the
my
snow.
house. In the snow, 100%. We do this like Thanksgiving mushroom party kind of annually these
Okay.
days. Whenever my sister doesn't have her kid, we have a crazy mushroom party between both of our houses on Thanksgiving weekend. And, you know, it's a free for all, like come as you please, come as you go, and come as you are, as long as you're partaking in our magical mushroom chocolates
Wow.
and getting into the pool, and then running outside naked, basically. So I'm sure that I'm on the neighbor app or the neighborhood app, whatever it's called.
Do you think there would be a fluorescence that could help with? Is there a coming down from mushrooms, or you just mellow out?
You just kind of mellow out.
So
It's
you don't
kind of
need to
great.
like.
You know, and with mushrooms becoming legalized here shortly, I mean, it's not happening yet, but we're well on our way to do it, hopefully. I mean, depending on what happens in this election year, obviously. But we're going to be leaning into a line of our own mushroom capsules and all kinds of other new products too. We're really excited. It's fun.
Do you think there's ever like maybe there's out there like zucchini you can get high off of?
I
or
should try it though. I love
peas?
zucchini. You love zucchini.
I love zucchini.
You
I
love
don't love
pickled
peas.
zucchini.
I like any kind of zucchini or pickles or cucumber. I like all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I like that. I love
Like a
pickled
small
okra.
salad?
I just love a small side salad.
Just a small size salad?
Protein on the side.
Just a little avocado?
No, it's too much protein.
Just like a quarter. A quarter of an avocado.
Just a sad salad.
You are, while you're in town, you're doing like the shows.
I am.
The thing is when you moved away,
Everyone died. I know. Everyone was so sad.
everyone was so sad. No one knew what to do with
I
themselves.
know. They still don't.
But you always said like, I'm going to go do something and it's going to take up a lot of my time, which was buy a home.
Mhm.
You wanted to buy a home. That's something you wanted to do. But you always said like, I'm going to make time to come back because, you know, yeah, sure, you make some money when you're here, but I mean, it usually just facilitates the trip.
Oh, for sure.
You know, that's kind of it. But and I'm not saying you don't make your tips. I'm not throwing shade. People are going to be like, ugh. I'm not throwing shade, but I'm just saying.
We want to see you guys go off in the comments.
This is what I'm saying is so magical about it is that while you do travel the world and hopefully be rewarded for that the way that you should or compensated the way you should, you are not above going and just doing the shows with the dolls.
No, I
because-
love it. That's why I love coming back here.
Right.
In order to spend time with my friends and also like I did last time I was in town, I did Friday night at Hamburger Mary's in WeHo, that was my show for the longest time, Pumped. And it was so nostalgic, and so many of the people who used to come back before I was even on Drag Race, who would come every week to see me, were there, and it was so sweet. And so it made me very homesick, though. It was the first time, I think, since I've moved 6 years ago that I was truly homesick for Los Angeles, which was kind of an interesting feeling. I was like crying the minute the music started, and I don't know, it was just overwhelmed with emotions.
I mean, it doesn't seem like 6 years, but
It doesn't.
But you have made your way back so many times.
Yeah, I tried to.
Like a shit ton of times. And the thing is, I feel like you are a person who has a really good view of so much regional drag, because you know Florida and you have your heart there, and you know Chicago, and just traveling the world. And I've said this, I think the last time you were here, it has to be heartbreaking when you travel the world and you only get to be in certain places for so long, and you're like, wow, I could see myself here, or I could see myself making friends with these people here. There's just something magical, and then it's like kind of taken away.
Totally.
Right?
Well, I feel like that's also kind of why I work so much at the same places, because we're charismatic. And my thing always was, when I started traveling, was like, I'm gonna go in there and treat these people like they're the people who I work with every week.
Sure.
Because if you make a good impression, you'll work forever. You'll be invited back as many times as you want to if you go in there with a great attitude, and if you're easy to work with, and you have fun with everybody, and you make them fall in love with you. And it's that's not difficult for me to do, to make people fall in love with me. So I think that's why I do enjoy that, because I do become friends with everybody. And so much to the point where now when I travel, I'm always like, oh, I have a lot of fun in this city. Let me build in a few extra days around whatever this gig may be, so I can like go have dinner. And like, I think as I'm getting older and going through the pandemic and getting closer with my family in such a way, like, it's important to me to have connections with other people, but also have a connection with myself,
Right.
where I can feel like I'm a human being instead of just a robot workhorse like I typically am.
Right. I mean, I think there's something that I notice, and I've always noticed about you when you speak, and that is a silent confidence where you don't apologize for knowing that you're good at something. And I think that's something that really a lot of us have to come into and own. And I think especially a lot of newer entertainers that come in that think, because they do see Drag Race, that they have to sort of produce themselves along the way. And what happens is you don't get a chance to see the real them. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I sew and I'm really good at sewing.
Absolutely.
Or like when you said charismatic, you know that you are a great conversationalist. You do love meeting people. You know when you're like, this is an uncomfortable conversation. I need to know how to back out of this without being rude. That's a magic. That's something that you do have. And I think people have to see that example and go, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm really good at this, or I look really great when I wear this.
100%. And there's a difference between that kind of like self-awareness and self-assuredness, and a difference between that and just being a cunt because you're a drag queen.
Right.
And that's, I think, where the miscommunication happens a lot of times, where it's like, oh, I have to be a diva, I have to be a cunty, I have to be this in order to be taken seriously.
Right.
Which a lot of times is just a mask of insecurity.
Right.
Because that, and I get that. We were all like that at one time, I'm sure. When I was younger, I was definitely very wild, and I was like, oh, I have to be the life of the party. And, look at me. But, it's deeper than that. And I think that, to have a career that's with longevity in this industry, you have to kind of be very aware of what you bring to the table, and know that you bring that to the table, and don't be afraid of that.
Yeah, that's so true. Let's take a break.
I want to take a break.
Let's take a break. We are back with the gorgeous Detox. Nobody's seeing that. Nobody's
Nothing to see here, everyone.
Right.
Nothing to see.
There's a girl that I watch on TikTok sometimes, and she'll do like lip syncs. A lot of people do, like, especially during the pandemic, we all kind of did that at some point. But she like leans off for 1 second, and all I hear is
You sent it to me.
I sent it to you?
sent it to me. You're like,
And I
what
was
is she
like,
doing over there?
Mama, like, and I'm not knocking her for lip syncing or getting tips. I'm
Mm-mm.
in love with all of it. Because I did it all, and I'm still gonna do it.
But at least get the residue off your nostril.
I know. I was like, baby, let's not. It was so loud too. I was like, whoa, okay.
That septum is deviated, and I should know.
Damn. So you just went to your 674th Madonna show. You spent all your money.
Which is why the kitchen's on halt right now.
It's why the kitchen's on halt and you're eating top ramen.
Exactly. Well, I eat top ramen anyways. I love top
You
ramen.
love Madonna. We both love Madonna. The only reason I have not gone to a Madonna concert is because of how much I hate people.
It's true.
But
have you never been to a single one? Not a single Madonna show?
I've never been to a Madonna show.
Oh my God. And you're a huge fan.
Huge fan. I could probably sing every single song. I have favorite albums. As you know, like because we love like deep cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why Rescue Me is not more celebrated because it is like a number one for
It's
me.
so good. And there was a moment there where we thought that she was going to be including it in this tour, and it didn't happen. And so I think everyone was really disappointed. But
Yeah.
it's such a good deep cut, and it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I in my mind, I always visualize what the video is going to be. And for some reason, I imagine this sort of like, the movie with the hand and the woman's inside the hand and she needs to be rescued. I'm imagining this at the time, the short hair, the curly,
the tight curl.
Yeah, just kind of pulled back. I see it. One shoulder is out. We always produce this shit in our mind. We're like, how are you going to do it? Like, what are you going to wear? The shoulder has to be out. Like the earring has to lay this way.
It has to be this, and it has to be big on one side.
Right. Why do we do that?
Because we're fags. That's why. Because we're fucking queer. That's
but
why.
Did you?
It's because we used to do that in the backseat of our parents' cars when we were driving down the road, and the song that we liked came on the radio, or in the shower when we were singing to ourselves. We would produce our own videos in our heads.
Like head leaning it against the window.
100%. I still do it. That's honestly one of the things that I was excited about during the pandemic when digital drag became such a big thing.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, I'm going to be sickening and make all the music videos that I always wanted to make when I was a kid. And then I realized just how much work and effort goes into it. And I said, fuck that. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You're going to get Mannequin Live again.
Yeah.
Instead, just with my webcam.
Like lay in the shower and sing. And you're like, this is the
like
video.
You need a full team of people to produce.
Right.
And it's, all those queens and kings and kids out there who did that digital drag for so long, who were turning it, like, hats off to you, because I can't do that shit. But you know what it is? That your generation grew up with computers in the classroom and things, and you learned how to do all that shit. It took me like 3 days just to try to edit one little clip of a video, and I was like, I felt like I was on meth. I was like, my eyes were crossed, my nose was bleeding, I didn't like it.
And then you took Fleuressence.
And then I took Fleuressence.
And here
I
I
felt
am.
fine, and I woke up brunch ready to go.
Fresh as a daisy. When you went to the concerts, was there like, do they all have their own feel because they're all in different places? Or was it always, you were just going for you?
The energy is always amazing. And so it does depend on where you are, how the crowd is. Like Vegas, she even hates Vegas, but like going to Vegas, it's just a bunch of like high rollers and shit that are just there because they got free tickets, and they're like, no, boop bop boop, I don't know a single Madonna song. But then you go places like Tampa. When I went to Tampa the other night, was amazing, and you don't really expect Tampa to have like an amazing crowd, but everyone was lit and turned up, and I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to people watch. It's my first time ever going like in drag too to the concerts, because typically I don't like to do that. Which I didn't like doing it this time either, just because, I forget sometimes that I'm Detox. And so that kind of spectacle then becomes, a meet and greet. It's like drag con at the concert when I'm just trying to enjoy the concert with my friends and have fun. So thank you for all the people who were patient with me. And thank you for all the ones that were kind and respectful of my time. I appreciate you.
Well, I feel like a lot of people forget that I'm Detox.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't.
Yeah, I know you don't. You know the real me.
I know the real you.
You know the real me. When you go in drag, like, is it like, do you already think in your mind, like, okay, what can I wear that? I know you're not somebody who gets in drag and goes, what's comfortable? Because nothing in drag is comfortable.
Nothing in drag is comfortable.
Even if you were in a tracksuit and tennis shoes, you're still in drag.
You're still in drag. My dick is still tucked.
Right.
Everything hurts. It's going to take me forever to pee. I have to make sure my nails are on, have my accessories on.
So was there a moment where you were like, this necklace is coming off, or these shoes are coming off?
Absolutely. She keeps the air conditioning off in the show, and it was so weltering. And so by the end of it, like, my tits were out. The hat was off. My hair was slicked back and all sweat and wet. And I looked disgusting, but I had so much fun. And seeing Bob up there every night is so fucking rad. It's so amazing.
It's so fierce to watch Bob.
So cool. And he's like this total narrator throughout the entire story of the 2.5-hour concert. And it's so brilliant to see him be so revered and like doing his fucking thing.
Right.
It's so rad. So kudos to you, Bob. I'm so proud of you.
It's so interesting to see like the things that we once saw, you know, because we were raised with Madonna doing all of the things that she was doing, going into uncharted territory, watching people that we would later sometimes meet, like all the dancers, to see now friends, family, also just people that we know from Drag Race, be elevated into doing things that younger people are going to watch. And when they mature, they're going to go, oh, I remember Bob went on that tour. I remember that so-and-so was on that stage. Like they remember that and they'll be doing that too.
100. That's
It's
what it is
fucking
right there. It's
cool.
so fucking cool because it's like here, even with Drag Race alone, it's like when that was like the pentacle.
Right.
Like pentacle?
Pinnacle?
Pinnacle. There we go.
When
That
it
was
was
the
the
pentagram. That was the pinnacle. Like that was, oh my God, to be on Drag Race and then to see, like that was everyone's goal. Like, and we would do that in order to show younger queer people, like, stick with it,
Right.
be yourself, you know, don't be afraid. You can have an amazing life. To now to where it's at even greater, and to see people like Bob on stage with Madonna, and to see so many of the Drag Race alum get on stage with her and do their thing.
Right.
It's a really cool thing to be a part of, and it's a great thing for the world.
Yeah, for sure. Is there somebody else that you would love to go see, like, and be on stage with?
Portishead, the Roseland Ballroom, Portishead concert from MTV back in the day.
Yeah.
Because it was just so brilliant. What about you?
What about me?
Yeah, who would you like to be on
Well,
stage
you know what?
with?
I am such a fan of, I don't want to say obscure because I don't think they're obscure, but to other people that maybe they're people that haven't released music in a long time, or maybe they're not. I don't know if when this comes out, if the concert will have already happened, but I'm a big fan of Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, yeah.
And so Dwight Yoakam and the Mavericks, who I love also, are playing at the Bowl, and I really, really want to go. But I'm that person that's like, you of all people know, like, how much I have to vet everything before I fucking do it. Like, seriously?
And she is the one, I mean, I know she says it all the time. She's the one that will get there. And if something's off, she's like, bye.
And
doesn't matter how much money she spent. Doesn't matter all the time that you wasted to put into it.
I know it's awful to not roll with the punches, but I just can't. Like, I really can't. My anxiety gets me. I have to know every bit about it. Do I want the end? Do I want over here?
You need to see
who's
what...
going to go with me. I want to know who's going to go.
Well, that's a big part about it too. Is when you go to events like that, you have to have like a posse, or at least one person who is as excited as you are, who's going to be as into it as you are. Because if not, then you feel like, oh, I'm just a burden to this person. Like, oh, they're just here out of the goodness of their heart to like be here to support me. I want you to have fun too. And
Like,
yes, I may be having more fun.
Right.
But I need you to be having fun as well.
Well, and that's why like Lori is a great person to go with.
Except for when she screams in your ear.
Right. But
should we do it together? She's like, I don't know how loud I can go. But she, literally, it's always, yeah! And I'm like
literally.
And I have to, and then everyone around us is like,
yeah, they have no idea. Like,
this
why
dyke just
that
stub her
just
toe? What happened?
The good thing about Lori is she's definitely a planner. So she knows all of that. So somebody who will vet something. In fact, we are going to a concert.
Oh, yeah, she told me.
Yeah. And she was like, I bought you something. It's a gift for you. Just know I fucking vetted the whole thing. I know what the seats look like. I know where they're fucking at. I know where we're going to park. I know fucking all of it.
And you have to do that with Delta because she will just not show up.
Like, and
she will just not go.
Well, I'll freak out, right? But
I get that though, having anxiety and everything.
Yeah.
Like I understand that kind of like what is it? Fight or flight kind of mentality that goes into it.
For sure. But that's the thing is like because she knows that, she's good with flying by the seat of her pants, and she's also good going, oh, this one needs to be coddled. This one needs to be coddled. And you're that way too. Like you're always like you said, I'm gonna have a good time. I didn't know you weren't going to have a good time, but if you're not, go sit in the car, bitch, because I'm going to stay right here.
Right.
And have a wonderful time, and we'll go have a meal.
I'll call you an Uber, and then we'll meet up afterwards
we're cool.
or something. We're good.
We're fucking good.
This could have gone to somebody else, but okay.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me? But yeah, the last time I went to a concert was with you. And prior to that, I had not been to a concert since I was in high school.
Was that, wait, Adele?
When we went to Adele.
That was the last concert you went to?
That was the last concert I went to.
That was what, 2016?
Something like that.
Something like you.
And someone like you. Someone is like you. But that was where we absolutely heard screaming from Lori.
Uh-huh. At Adele.
At Adele.
How are you going to scream like that during Set Fire to the Rain?
Right.
I'm over here cutting myself and sobbing to death. And she's over there with her tits out, wooing.
Yeah. Literally. That featured Lori's letter writing.
Uh-huh.
It featured us getting lost.
Uh-huh.
It featured going in drag.
Uh-huh.
It featured a little bit of all of that. But what I think we need to do, just because it's going to come to an end, is maybe we should go to the Vegas Adele show, both as Adele. Because now there's two options for figures, right?
Well, I told you this whenever she got really skinny, and I'm assuming it was on Ozempic, but I don't know. But how fun it would be to do a duet where it's like, you doing one thing and then rotating, and then it's me doing something from the new album.
Right.
I think it would be so sickening. But it's ending in fall. We should look
that's
into
why
it.
we should
tickets
go.
are astronomical. Like the Scout, they're not the new ones aren't released yet. I was looking at it the other day because I was gonna actually do it and surprise you. But
but now that you made it part of your production,
now that you made it part of the production, here we go.
You fucking get your own people to pay for it.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Thank you.
We'll put on GoPros and we'll
Mom.
go. Yeah.
Thanks for the tickets, Mom.
I mean,
we could live stream the whole thing too. What about that?
Yeah, and then we'll get paid for it as well.
Exactly. What about a very Delta at Adele Weekends with Adele?
Vidal. And we'll have Sean Vidala come take the pictures.
Oh, absolutely.
It all fits.
Write that down.
But catch this. What makes it even better is that we could fucking wear flats to the Adele show.
100%.
Because Mother wears flats the whole time.
Absolutely.
Oh my, she doesn't even wear shoes. I think she wears socks.
She just wears socks.
How much more comfortable is it to just go barefoot with a sock?
Well, absolutely.
I'm down. I wear that anyway
a sock
for
on
all
your
my
cock
numbers.
Or just like
all of it.
Okay, perfect.
My pink sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is always showcased. Did I ever tell you about the Thin Mint?
I feel like you have.
We were doing brunch and fucking Six is doing brunch with us. And I was dressed in like this Julie Andrews sort of send up. And we're waiting to go on and we're leaning back and forth and she looks down. And then she looks up at me and she looks back down. I said, girl, please do not read my Debbie's. Like, I know these are fucking ugly, but they're for a number. She's like, Debbie's? Debbie's denotes that you are wearing a heel. This isn't trying to be a heel. It's still a baked good, but baby, that's a Thin Mint. I share that story every chance I get because it's so fucking true. But any opportunity to fucking wear flats?
100%.
I know you won't do it though. You'll go to the Adele concert in heels.
I will probably go in heel, yeah. But here's the first Madonna concert I went to on this tour. I was in drag because I was under the impression that I was going to be the Vogue girl that day. And so I was like done.
I was moded.
I was moded. I was moded because I had this beautiful Marcos wig that came and it was huge and yellow. And like I had, made this little dress and my friend stoned it and I had these shoes. But it was close after when I sprained my ankle on New Year's Eve working. And so my foot was fucked. And so I was wearing these, the pumps that I typically like to wear. I'm wearing those. And I could not even like walk. So I was so thankful that it didn't happen because the whole time, as soon as I got to my seat, the fucking shoes were off. I was just stepping around in mush all night.
Did you drink at the concert?
Of course I did.
How expensive is a drink at a concert?
Too much.
Really?
Too much. But that's how I also did mushrooms because that helps too.
Like $20?
I remember getting one round of drinks for me and another friend. That's 2 beverages. I got doubles and it was $110.
Now I know you have me completely.
You got me completely fucked up. I said, huh?
Never.
I went, huh?
Never.
Is what now?
How do they figure? Like I get.
I mean, it's top shelf and it was blah blah blah, but no. $50 a drink, you got me fucked up.
But I think it's weird, like how many people will be like, I have
with
to
no
have
air conditioning, you got me by the
vomit on the floor. Like I know you have to have top shelf alcohol, but a lot of people that do top shelf alcohol and are willing to pay for it will absolutely go for bottom shelf dick. So it's like I am so confused with the discrepancy of what you'll put in your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I mean, I know you're different, but because you're not like the other girls, you're special.
I'm a special girl.
Right. I have a secret. I have a secret. I just have a small salad. I just have a small salad and a broth.
A bra?
A broth.
A bra.
A bra? Are you wearing a bra today?
I don't need to.
No.
I probably should. I probably should. I'm
Pectoralis.
feeling a little voluptuous.
Did I ever tell you about
Voluptuary?
voluptuous? Somebody said that. They were like, I just love you. I love that you celebrate that you're voluptuous.
I kind of live for that. Though.
I like
should
it
be,
better.
That should be your fragrance name when you come out with a fragrance. Voluptuous. Because it's luxury.
Oh, I love
It's full-bodied luxury, honey.
You know what? I always think about that, like doing a fragrance, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, you could go to the mall by my house. You can make." I'm like,
no, that's
you
not
don't
the
get
kind
what
of thing
I'm
that
saying.
we. That's not what
it needs to be brought out by Estee Lauder,
right?
Do you understand? In conjunction with
right
the old school companies. When I worked in the fucking mall, Charles of the Ritz. Is what that's stating myself.
That
so
one's
bad.
just stating yourself.
Merle Norman.
Do you know Orlando still has a Merle Norman store?
No,
I'm not even kidding.
Let's get our makeup done there.
We have to. I used to want to go all the time when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was like starting to drag, because I was like, Merle Norman. Oh my God, they have a Merle Norman here.
Right.
I'll go get my drag makeup done there.
Right.
I never did.
What about when people are like, oh my God, I love your makeup. I should let you do mine.
Oh, always.
What?
That makes you just want to paint even crunchier than I do already.
Right. Like,
I'm like, no.
I should allow you to do a job for free. Okay, that sounds like
I
fun.
should let you paint me.
Right. No, you shouldn't. Like, yeah, maybe if it's
I should let you leave me alone.
Right. If it's a sick queen, like, hell yeah, I want you to paint me. Please.
I love getting painted by other queens.
Yeah.
Carbon Cavalli in Orlando just painted me for my show when I was there, and she stamped me down.
Yeah.
And it's always because I just love seeing what people can do with my face, and I get so bored. It's my least favorite part about the job.
Really?
Is doing makeup because it's just so monotonous to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh God, here's just another like smudgy eye with a little thing in the middle of it, and call it a day, and let me get out of here in 45 minutes and be done. But I love the process of having, like, when Layla paints me, it's fucking, I have to sit and watch her do it. Usually I don't like sitting and watching people do it. But I just want to see, like, the techniques and what she's doing and how you're going to carve my nose out this way. And I just love having other people paint my face. When they're good.
Watching her. When they're good.
When they're good.
She just, just something about the richness of it and how fucking saturated.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people will put their face on somebody else, but I don't think that's the case with Layla. When I look, I'm like, oh no, she like takes into consideration certainly her techniques that she wants to incorporate, but makes them in your face. So she's like, I'm going to make sure that this fits in the parameter of how far I'm going to take your face.
And the gag is anytime that she does paint me, and like we'll sit there for however long it is, and I feel like I can feel all the different techniques and all the different products going on. And I'm like, bitch, I must be fucking covered in stage paint right at this point. And then I look back and I'm like, you can still see my skin coming through.
Right.
And it's still like, it's, it's dewy and pretty and I look hydrated.
Right.
I'm like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, whenever I watch other people do makeup, I'm like, there are so many steps I am so not doing because I have no idea how to do that. And I know I'm going to fuck it up. Or they're like, well, in this area, I use this serum. And over here, I use this. And I'm like, I'm not spending that. I'm so cheap. Like,
oh, but skincare is really...
Well, no, I'm just talking about like when they're like, this concealer goes here, but that one goes there. I'm like, you can use the same one.
No.
Skincare, entirely different. We really, and I always wish that I had paid attention when I was much younger, especially with the process of taking makeup off, like rubbing too hard.
We rub the shit out of ourselves.
I don't like doing that anymore. I'm like, my skin is like tissue paper around my fucking eyes. It's already creased and folded like that, and it feels like that. Like, I can't do all that.
Roxy turned me on to this, like, it's kind of like a spray sheen that you use for your hairs, but she uses it for her makeup removal. And you just spray a few sprays on, and that's all you need. And you just gently kind of massage it into your face and then rinse it off and then blot it off with like a wet, warm towel. And when I tell you, and it gets out like your hair glue, the adhesives, it melts everything right away. And it saves like, you don't have to do all the makeup wipes or anything. It takes her like 2 seconds to get out of drag.
And does Roxy, she's known for wearing makeup sometimes?
Sometimes.
Here and there.
Yeah, she likes a little bit of she likes a spice liner and some Carmex.
Roxy Andrews is known for Carmex and just a little pinch on the cheeks. You take a hot spoon and you just curl your lash like that. That's a Roxy Andrews approach. Check into it. Let's take a break. And we are back with Detox. I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
What do you think of this vase?
I like that vase.
You like that?
I like that vase. It's I like the neck. I like that it looks like somebody decoupaged flowers on there, like dried petals.
Do you think this is a vintage vase from the 40s, or do you think it's like an 80s sort of replica of something from a long time
No,
ago?
I feel like that's like a replica that you got probably at a Home Goods is what I'm thinking. Is it vintage? Is it vintage? Let me see
No, it's just all of my friends are smarter than I am. First of all, look at the side. Don't lift it up.
it.
First of all, look at the side. I paid that. I fucking paid that. But on the bottom, what was it originally? At a thrift store. That's the only deal I got off of it.
Wait, that was because it was Savers.
They reduced it at Savers to $5, but it was really at Ross
Well,
for
that's
$9.
half off, and you love a deal.
Yes, but I thought when I saw it, because there was
You were
another.
like, oh
I was
my
like, girl,
god,
I got to get out of this store
You
fast.
call Lori and you're like, I got one for us. I got one for us. Go on eBay.
We're getting the tickets.
We got the tickets. We're going.
We're going to see Dwight Yoakam. Let's go.
Let's go.
I really did when I saw it. I was like,
Well, the gag is it's actually an urn, and it's just missing the top.
right. There was a
That's what-
smaller one that was with it with the same design.
Well, that was because it was mother and daughter that died.
And that's what I thought.
Uh-huh.
Girl, good fucking buy. And the thing is, this bitch is over here like, oh, I could tell it was from Home Goods or Ross or fucking Burlington Comb Factory or probably fucking Dee Dee's Discounts.
Burlington Throat Factory.
Burlington Throat. Girl,
Grab it right there by the throat.
Do you think this is a houseware, a vase, a planter, or a floral basket?
I don't think it's either of those things.
It's an urn, you just said.
I think it's an urn. I think it's where you keep your juice in. And that's your little, that's your wine jug.
It could be a spittoon. Have you ever known anyone who chewed tobacco?
Oh, yeah. My grandfather used to hawk up shit all the
My
time in a
stepdad,
little
too.
spittoon.
Uh-huh. Isn't that gross?
And he'd be like,
Would you try it for one night?
will I eat this?
No, you can do
try my
they have
grandfather's
like
spit.
sachets, so it's not loose.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little one. you
I've
keep
tried
in
those
there.
before, actually. I keep coming undone.
You have no choice.
I have
You're
no
too
choice.
much woman.
I have-
I'm a whole lot of woman.
I'm a whole- Whatever.
Who
You guys are gonna
cares?
see it now.
Rip all the
It's
buttons
fine.
off.
I almost did.
Fucking tits out, just to the wind. gives a shit?
Leatherface keeps scaring me over there.
I know this. That's how you know how many things are filmed here. I mean, so we have to have things like Leatherface here. This is the part of the show that
Do we get
you've-
to read?
Well, you've engaged in this before. You know what it is. Read Me Delta. If you want to write a letter, write it to readmedelta@gmail.com.
That's readmedelta@gmail.com.
Dear Delta and Detox, I am 29 years old and I'm planning a week or 2 week long trip to California at the end of the summer. I've never been to California before and I would love to hear your advice regarding what you consider to be musts for my visit. I know California is well known for some hiking and nature stuff, but I'm part of the Very Delta School of Camping, so I will not be partaking in shitting on the ground. My main interests are food, wine, restaurants, clubs, bars, and drag. I'm thinking of staying for the majority of my time in Los Angeles, but I've been considering San Francisco, San Diego, Palm Springs, and Napa. As someone who has never been west of New Mexico, I'd love to hear your thoughts and recommendations. Should I utilize my entire trip to deep dive in LA? Should I do a statewide adventure? Please suggest some must-sees for me. Love, very Matthew. Matthew is coming from
East of California.
East of California. Yeah. I mean, do you have any suggestions?
Well, first of all, depending on what you eat, you may shit on the ground. So don't trust the
Right.
street meat, first of all, even though it smells delicious. That street meat always smells so good, but don't trust it because you will probably shit the ground.
Mhm.
I think that if you dedicate the entire trip to Los Angeles, you might get bored.
Mhm.
I feel like there's only so much to do, even though it's Hollywood and there's a lot to do here. I think if you're going to be in California, you might as well try to divvy out some of your time.
I think so.
I love Northern California. I love going to Monterey Bay, and where's the other place that we love? Santa Barbara.
Like Pismo Beach.
Yeah, all those things are.
Where is it with the Madonna Inn?
Well, that's the thing about California too, is that everything's easy to get to.
Yeah.
If you drive, I mean, you can always take the PCH
Yeah.
and do sightseeing and everything. But for sure, you have to come and see Delta on Friday nights at Hamburger Mary's in Long Beach, the legendary Hamburger
Ooh.
Mary's in Long Beach. Where else could you go? Mickey's, I think. If you're looking for drag, you have to go to the Mickey show on a Monday night because
Absolutely. Or Makeout Mondays
it's
with
Makeout
Ray
Mondays.
Latrey.
Monday nights are a drag night. Back in the day, when I was first living here, Monday nights were like the drag night. There was something going on everywhere. And I feel like every time that I'm here, it kind of has that same like similar energy, not the
Right.
same energy. But for sure, I can tell that like Ray is doing her part in trying to make like Mondays a big drag thing here again,
Absolutely.
which I always appreciate.
I would definitely say if you have the chance to split time between whatever it is you want to do in LA and if you want to go north or you want to go to Palm Springs.
Palm Springs is so fun.
It's fun and there's a shit ton of drag in Palm Springs. So if you want to get some drag show, you're absolutely going to get that there. You're going to go to places like Toucans. 111 Bar is a great place to go see some of this stuff. And the thing about Palm Springs, it's far enough away from LA that you definitely are not in LA, but it's not so far that if you're keeping LA as your hub, you can get right back. It's not that far. It seems like it is, but it's not. And it's totally its own fucking thing. I would say don't get caught up in the tourist traps of thinking that when you go to Hollywood Boulevard that you're going to see all the stars.
Oh, no.
It's really kind of dangerous.
You'll see has-been stars that have
Right,
like, you know, that
right.
have gone wayward and are now
Right.
dressed up as a green M&M on the side of the street. That's
You'll
what you'll
see
find.
that.
You'll see that.
I would say it is if you're somebody who loves like maybe you make clothing or you're looking for fun, inexpensive jewelry and sunglasses, I would say go into like the alleys, which is and I know that sounds weird when you say the
Go
alleys,
into the
but
dark, scary alleys
the
at night,
Santee Alley.
and you can get all the jewelry you want there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the ice you can dream of.
But go there, go to the Santee Alley, not to be confused with just any alley in downtown that looks like there's clothes. It's actually called the Santee Alley. It's fun,
S-A-N-T-E-E.
but you gotta have somebody go with you that's from around here.
Also, if you're planning on doing that, I think a good idea would be to, if you're flying in, if you fly in to Palm Springs, rent a car there, have a couple days in Palm Springs, drive up to LA, and then you can do your thing
I
there.
like that.
And that way you can hit downtown on your way up to like to West Hollywood. You can do all those little things on the way up. That's a kind of a good idea too.
Yeah. And also, like, just because I'm this person, like, really price out your hotels and see what's important to you amenity-wise. Because if you're somebody that's, like, looking to kind of party at the hotel, you probably want something that's a little bit nicer, that's still at, like, the higher end of your budget. But if you're somebody that's, like, I like it quiet, I want to be in and out, there could be a budget range for that as well. Don't look for the place that's maybe going to be too crazy.
Right.
I don't know. If you're like me and you like it quiet, you probably don't want to stay at a hotel that's all singles that are going to be partying all night. If you're fast and loose, like Detox, and if you want to take Fleuressence in the morning, you know what I mean?
You take it at night. You take it at night.
You take it at night. If you want to go to
You wanna wake up brunch
fluorescence.com, is that what it's called?
Fluorescence supplements. That's FLEUR, whatever. You spell it.
Then you go there.
You go there and you get
Yeah.
the fluorescence.
Can we just answer another letter?
Answer another fucking letter.
What does the Fluorescence taste like though? Because I have a pack of it and I've never opened it.
It's very vitamin-y.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a beverage.
No.
It's a supplement.
Yeah, they're 2 little capsules and you just pop them when you're done. Don't fucking cut to me hitting the vape while she's trying to read a letter from the audience.
Dearest Delta and legendary guest. What are you doing?
Nothing. Having fun with my friend.
Are you opening your legs again?
No, not yet.
Dearest Delta and legendary guest, what would you do if the producer of the show you're in runs backstage and tells you there's a man asking for you holding 24 roses and sitting in the front row? You look from behind the curtain and it's the guy you broke up with 2 weeks ago because he's a fucking liar and lied about having an attorney on retainer. You're still in love with him, but your drag mother didn't raise the fool. Are you going to put on your black velvet heart-shaped neckline mermaid gown with your loose-curled blonde shoulder-length wig and perform Madonna sooner or later? Or will you do your Sharon Stone Basic Instinct illusion, sit on a chair in the middle of the stage while wearing a white miniskirt with your legs crossed, then uncrossed, then crossed again while wearing a white coat, Russ Meyer Super Vixen bullet bra, blonde hair in an updo with hairpins in place, and perform the interrogation scene from Basic Instinct? After the interrogation scene is done, I Sit on Acid is playing on the speakers. You rip off your white coat, rip off your bullet bra, and reveal your attorney on retainer's business cards used as pasties. You do a cartwheel off stage and land on the crotch of another more handsome man in the crowd. Is this something you would do, Delta and legendary guests? Please tell us. Love always, Jose La Bearja.
Why did I know? Why did I know it was her?
Every time.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't be able to do any of that because I don't have an ex. I'm dying alone.
You are dying alone.
No,
And that's
we'll
fine.
be together.
You have a big home though.
I have. I'm home alone.
And you got a big homie. Jose always creates these
I
narratives.
knew it was her.
See, and I did too but I didn't see the name until the end. But I could tell that something was coming. I Sit on Acid is the perfect song for everything. Even if I just have the first beginning sentence, that's all I need.
Will you give it to us right now?
Darling, come here, fuck me up the rear.
Fuck me up, fuck me up,
Sit on your
fuck
face.
me up, fuck
I
me
want to
up, fuck
sit on
me
your
up, fuck me.
face. Sit on your face.
I want to sit on your
I want to sit on your
face.
face.
Sit on your face. I want to sit on your face.
I say, what do I want to
sit on your face. I want to sit on your face.
I have a salad.
I'll just have the side though. Dressing on the side, please.
Small salad. Just a
Dressing on
small
the side.
salad. I want a date. I want a small salad.
No
I just like
joke.
something brothy because I don't like vegetables in my soup or because it gets in my teeth.
You have to stop talking about soup though because it's making me think of soup plantation. And
Now listen,
I saw that there's a soup plantation somewhere.
there is a Sweet Tomatoes, which is the
I
mother
love
company,
sweet tomatoes.
mother company of Soup Plantation, open in Tucson, Arizona. And here in California, there is a Soup and Fresh, which a family bought a soup plantation, bitch, the bowls, everything. And they tried to replicate the same idea. Now, I have friends that went, they said it's great. And then I heard people that were like, it's not exactly the same. And I'm like,
well, that was Eddie.
that was Eddie Bar. They changed the recipe.
They changed the recipe.
That was Johnny
Sauce.
They changed the recipe. The boysenberry pie is not the same.
The boysenberry soup is not the same.
Ooh, it's
I don't know.
okay.
It's all right.
Very that. Very that.
Well, I want to go try it. I fucking love sweet tomatoes, though. We used to have them all over the place in Florida
Okay.
when I grew up there, and that was my sister and I would go all the time.
So
We
good.
loved it.
So good.
I just love soup.
Thank you for being here.
You know what?
Again.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad that, listen, the last time I was here, I didn't realize that it was a filmed podcast. I thought I was coming into the studio to record a podcast. So I showed up fully bearded in sunglasses with pajamas on and was very embarrassed. So I figured, why not come and match the set?
I mean, you didn't shave, but still you have a dress on.
That's true.
Which is something, right?
That's true.
No, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
I feel like I want to call people who have been here more than once Gold Star Very Delta, right?
Oh.
Because only a handful of people have been here more than once. Those being Manila was here more than once because we lost her first episode. It was a mistake.
Oh, no.
You think
What did
you're-
you do, Doug?
It happens. And Raja's been here more than once. But that's it, right?
Her or her spirit?
There is somebody that's been here as, I want to say, two different personas.
Oh.
And not everyone realizes that person has been here more than once. So they can figure that out. Some people were like, oh, I could tell. But other people were like, have not said anything, or when they do or are corrected, they're like, that's impossible.
I'm going to have to go do a deep dive.
Well, I'll just tell you as soon as we're done.
Okay, perfect. That's a wrap. Thank you for having me. Okay.
We're cool. We're leaving. Thank you so much for listening and watching Very Delta. Our show comes out every Monday. Subscribe to Mom Podcast YouTube channel and turn on your notifications because we don't want you to miss an episode. Search for Very Delta on your favorite podcast apps to listen to the audio-only version if you can't take all the beauty of this visual here. You can also sign up for our premium offerings on Mom Plus Gold by visiting mompodcast.plus, where you get weekly episodes of more Very Delta.
Oh.
Don't forget to send all of your questions to readmedelta@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at DeltaWork. And where can people follow you on social media?
The only detox everywhere.
The only
Wherever
detox
you want to
everywhere.
find me. The only detox. I just like to keep it very streamlined.
I just like to keep it very streamlined. I
I
just like to keep it. You know what I just like to keep it? Darling, come here and just fuck me up the rear. Stick it on my ass. Stick it on my ass and have a good time. We will see you next week. And until then, keep things very Delta.
You better do it.
Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Margot Padilla. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions.
How long do my legs look in this dress?
Really, really
Jesus.
long. Really long, dude. Re- Really long, big homie.
Mom!
To listen to Very Delta ad-free, one day early, and to get access to more Very Delta and all of Mom Podcast's premium content, check out Mom Plus Gold at mompodcast.plus.